Okay, we'll look at both methods for subtracting. Again, the first method was change everything to improper fractions first. So 3 1/5, 3 times 5 is 15 plus 1 makes this 16 over 5. And 1 3/4, 1 times 4 is 4 plus 3 is 7 over 4. Again, pieces are not the same sizes. We can't tell how many were eaten and find out how many are left until we're talking about the same size pieces. So we need a common denominator. And with 5 and 4, that would be 20. So the 5 times 4 is 20, so I have to do 16 times 4. Method 1 always gives us bigger numbers. So that means you started off with 64 pieces. And for the common denominator here, to get 20, you'd have to multiply by 5. 7 times 5 is 35. So you had 64 pieces in total to begin with. You ate 35 of them. How many pieces are you left with? 29 pieces. And if there were 20 pieces in a full chocolate bar, this is the same as 1 full chocolate bar and 9/20 left. Whoa. People tend to make more mistakes when subtracting than when adding, and sometimes they make the mistakes in this step, but I think if you follow the same idea as before, you should be fine. You had 3 full chocolate bars and a bit, and you ate 1 and a bit. So if we think about chocolate bars, there's 1 full chocolate bar, 2 full chocolate bars, 3 full chocolate bars, and a bit. And then you ate 1 full chocolate bar and a bit. And this is why method 2 is sometimes hard. Because if we look at doing the same thing when we added, what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract my whole numbers, and that part's not too bad. Because if I go 3 minus 1, how many chocolate bars would I be left with? 2. But then when I go to my fractions and I subtract, I'll have 1/5 of a chocolate bar, and I eat 3/4 of it. So again, those pieces aren't the same size. And what ends up happening is we need a common denominator, which we know is 20. So we times by 4, times by 4, times by 5, times by 5. And when we get the pieces to be the same size, when we think about our fractions, we have 4 pieces and we eat 15 of them. Where's the problem there? If you have 4 pieces and you eat 15, you're going to go into the negatives, which would, in reality, means if you wanted to eat more, you'd have to open up another chocolate bar, right? But when I subtract 4 minus 15, I get negative 11 out of 20. So our whole numbers say we have 2 chocolate bars left, but our pieces say we ate 11 extra pieces out of 20. How are we going to put those two together? When I open up a full package, how many pieces are in there to begin with? 20. So if you have minus 11, that means you opened up another chocolate bar and ate 11 of them. How many would be left? If you had a full chocolate bar of 20 pieces and you ate 11 of them, how many would be left of that chocolate bar? 9. So what we have is we had 2 full chocolate bars, but then it says when we get a negative answer like this that we ate 11 extra pieces. Well, then we'd have to work with this and say, well, I have to open up another chocolate bar, which has 20 out of 20. That would leave me one full chocolate bar, another one that's opened up, minus 11 out of 20, leaves me with one full chocolate bar and 9 pieces left. So because subtracting sometimes gets us into the situation where we eat more than we had, right? When I was working with my pieces, I ended up with negative 11 out of 20. That makes method 2 sometimes harder, and sometimes people make more mistakes in that case. So that's why at the beginning of this I said, for subtracting, even though you end up with bigger numbers, sometimes method 1 is easier. Okay, so here is one for you to try.